Over the years, the Total War maps have gotten bigger, and so has the overall scope. However, this has come now with a potential downside. Now that there's more cities on the map, they suddenly feel less satisfying to conquer. Again, I am going to use Rome 1 and Rome 2 as an example, because they are the best to compare. To make it clear, this is my opinion. I love the new titles overall, but I think there's just a few tweaks that need to be made for them to reach their full potential. In Rome 1, no matter what Roman family you play as, there's settlements of high value and low value to be conquered. For the entire game, you are kept engaged because you don't own the big one, the big diamond of Rome. So you play through the entire game, conquering cities, getting larger, and eventually you get to fight the Civil War and take Rome. It feels throughout like you are making progress. However, with Rome 2, you do not get this. First of all, the Great Diamond, the goal city to conquer, the final boss, you start with it. Although overall I actually personally prefer the province system, it fails to truly capture settlement value. For example, in Rome 2, the first major settlement, usually to conquer, is Carthage. Carthage and Rome, an ancient tale of two cities. Carthage is the big diamond. However, not only is it much easier to take in Rome 2, but it is also less rewarding. What in Rome 1 is a major settlement that can be enslaved for a massive population boom or exterminated for a massive sum of wealth, in Rome 2 is, well, just this. Something that feels like a minor settlement. How is this possibly the ancient day equivalent of the city of a world's desire? In Rome 1, this settlement has resources around it, primarily the grain access, which gives a massive population boom, allowing it to become a major and important city for you later. The major city provides a massive profit, both short-term and long-term, becoming what this land would later transform into historically for the Romans. And then in Rome 2, you basically get the equivalent of Willy's shack from The Simpsons. On top of all of this, in Rome 1, you're not done yet. There's still Rome, which you must experience the build-up for first. In Rome 2, you just spawn in with it. I have a video coming on how to fix the Rome issue in future titles, how you can play as Rome but not start with Rome and have it historically accurate. And that is what is so important about the population mechanic. Forget about realism, mechanics, challenge, all of that. By simply having a population system, not all minor settlements are copy and pasted. Not all major settlements are copy and pasted. They suddenly gain their own layer of personality, and sometimes you can find a surprise gold mine of people ready to be killed and stolen from. Or maybe occupied, but nobody plays that way. It's not just the settlements, it's also in the technology. I think it was officially Devin who made a great video explaining what made Civ so great. Basically, every building and every tech was powerful. Each one will change the game in a very impactful way, and that made the player wanting to click that end turn. There was a lot of reward, a lot of satisfaction, as you finally get that really good tech first, or complete that world wonder. In the original Total Wars, you had that to some extent. Technology was rare, but incredibly impactful. Mostly with the Marian reforms in Rome 1, but also with Medieval 2 gunpowder. The moment it comes into play, it becomes a complete game changer. These were things to work towards, to look forwards to. It keeps the player invested into the campaign, and makes them satisfied when they finally get their hands on it. However, when you get to the new titles, for the most part, the texts are really plentiful and meaningless at the same time. There's some good ones every now and then that allow unit upgrades and extra public order globally, but just nowhere near on the scale where I feel they need to be. 2% income on farming, 10% damage on this one unit that is so trash that you're not going to recruit anyway, research rate increase, plus 2%, big deal. I would therefore prefer less technologies overall, but have the few that exist be much more impactful, either to help you or hinder you. And if you want a technology tree system, it doesn't have to be for tech, it could be for character development. Or maybe like upgrading your overall government system, depending on the title. I think a tech tree on this style does kind of work, but it shouldn't be used for technology. Of course, I am not saying just 3 techs in total, but research time is 50 turns long. They can go a more unique approach to it, rather than just end turn times. I love new Total War. Overall, I am happy with the direction it is going in. There's a lot to like, but there's also a lot that has been cut, or lost from the game, lost from the soul of the game, and usually without good reason. And that's what the historical reset is all about. Historicals coming back. Historicals are coming back, this is obvious, but it's about making sure they come back with a bang. The reset is to rewind the clock, pause and think. Look back to what made them so great, not return purely to tradition. But let's say an archer, for example, the arrow to go furthest. You don't just throw an arrow with your hand. No, you put it in the bow and you pull it back. And it's that pulling it back that allows it to spring forwards further. Let me know down in the comments if you disagree or agree on my overall opinions on satisfaction. We need a population system back, preferably with different classes of people as well. Like, imagine the satisfaction that you feel when you conquer a settlement which just happens to have a high quantity of nobles in there that allow you to then train really good units in that settlement. Because in your current homeland, you're all out of manpower. And we also need more impactful events, technologies and missions. Not just a load of meaningless little stuff sprinkled in there. Big stuff. To make it clear, the Creative Assembly actually do really value the opinions of some YouTubers, and they do listen. It usually happens in the private Discord, but then people don't get to see that. Like, I was shocked with the amount of feedback of ours they took from Troy. Even though the game turned out to be very underwhelming, we did have a big say on the battles leading up to launch. Okay, not a full say, but a big say, or at least I felt so. So let me know down in the comments, if I see good ideas that many people get behind, I will push them forwards. Anyway, like the video if you enjoyed or agree. Subscribe for more, and let's make the historical titles like they once were. But for now, until the next one, goodbye.